Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to another video. I am here today with my April TBR. It is currently the 24th of March when I'm filming this, so we still have a week left of the month, but I have been in a massive reading slump for the past few days. I've just not been in the mood to pick anything up, to do any reading whatsoever, and I think I've just got a bit of reading burnout, I think. So I've decided to have this week as my self-care week to try and get myself back on track, and I have managed to get back into reading today actually. I'm currently in the middle of a thriller because I thought, because I've read so much romance in the past like 2 months, I thought I would switch it up a little bit, and I am currently reading a Harlan Coben thriller. I think this is one of his more recent ones, and it is I Will Find You by Harlan Coben, and I am currently 167 pages in, I think. Yeah, 167 pages in, and so far so good. I'm really enjoying it, so I think I'm definitely breaking the slump, which is great news. But for the purpose of this video, I have put together a TBR for April. It's kind of a spring TBR in a way. I think there's quite a good mix of books that I have on here, some romance, some thrillers, some fantasy, and I'm just really excited for this TBR in particular, and I will be taking part in one readathon for the month of April, and I have decided to take part in the Magical Readathon, which is G from Book Roast's readathon, which is like a massive readathon, which is like character based, so like choose your own adventure kind of thing, and you create a character, you have you go and study to become a certain type of magical character, and it just looks amazing, and I've always been intimidated to do it, but I decided this year that I wanted to take part in the readathon. So I have my character, I have what I'm going to be studying, and I have some reading prompts to go along with that. So I'm really excited to share that with you, and I do have some mandatory reads for the month of April that I'm really keen to get to, and yeah, it's just going to be a really fun month, and I am so excited for this TBR. So without further ado, I'll just crack on with my April TBR. So to kick off this April TBR, I'm going to start off with my mandatory reads that I have planned for the month of April. I do have some book club reads and a read along that I am co-hosting along with the lovely Brittany and Leandra, so that is definitely going to be a priority read for me in April. So we're going to start off with my first mandatory read, and this is for Brittany's Patreon buddy read. So Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading started a Patreon fairly recently. I'll leave Brittany's channel in the box down below if you wanted to go and check her out, and she's just announced her Patreon, so I would highly recommend checking her out. She's just the loveliest human being. So for her first buddy read for March and April, so I will be reading this book in April, we will be reading At First Spite by Olivia Dade. This is a contemporary romance, and this is the really cute Afterlight edition that I got from Vinted, and it's just adorable, and I absolutely love like little hardbacks like this, and it's so cute. So I don't know too much about this, but I think it's enemies to lovers romance in here, and we're following the main character Athena, and her fiance has ended their engagement out of the blue, and she finds out that her fiance's brother persuaded him to end their engagement, and she moves across the hall from him, or I can't remember if it's the other way around, and she is determined to make his life a misery and be like the worst neighbour in the world, and I'm assuming that he feels quite bad about what he did to Athena, and I'm assuming romance ensues, and there is plus size rep in here, which is great to see. So I've never read from Olivia Dade before, but I'm really excited, and so I will be reading this for Brittany's Patreon book club for March and April, and I am really excited for this one. Next up is another mandatory read for me, and this will be the first book that I will be reading with Brittany and Leandra for the Chestnut Springs Along, which is my read along that I will be hosting starting from April, and we will be kicking off the month of April with Flawless by Elsie Silver, which is a cowboy romance following Rhett and Summer. Rhett is a bull rider, and it says on the back here, the rules were simple: keep my hands off his daughter, but now I'm stuck with her. There's only one bed, and well, rules are made to be broken, so forced proximity in here, and it's just, I love this series, so I'm really excited to reread this, and I will be tabbing as I go, and the live show for this will be on the 4th of May, so I'll leave all the information in the box down below if you wanted to join with the read along. We now have a Discord because there was so many people that are interested in the read along, which is amazing, and I'm so grateful for everyone that's been interested in doing the read along. So I will leave all the information with the Discord and the links to the live shows and everything in the box down below. But yeah, Flawless, this will be my mandatory read for April, and I am so excited to get started on this. Next up is another mandatory buddy read, and this is for Steph from Steph Loves is a Patreon buddy read. I will leave Steph's channel in the box down below. If you haven't checked her out before, please go and do so. She is the loveliest human being. So for March and April's Patreon buddy read, I will be reading A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. I haven't managed to get to this in March, but I was kind of holding off a little bit until the live show for this, which I think will be early May. So I do have like a whole month to get this read. So this is the first in a duology by Rebecca Ross, who also wrote Divine Rivals, which was one of my favourite books of last year. I absolutely adored it. So I am a little bit nervous about this one because I love Divine Rivals so much. So in this we are following the two main characters, Jack and Adaria. And I think it's enemies to lovers, and there's like Celtic Scottish mythology in here, which I obviously appreciate being Scottish. So I am really excited to give this one a try, and I have heard really good things, and I want to say thank you to Demi for gifting this to me for Christmas, and she also gifted me the second book, which is A Fire Endless, so I would like to get to that as well if I do enjoy A River Enchanted. So this is Steph's Patreon buddy read for March and April, and this is my next mandatory read that I am very keen to get to, but I'm really excited for this one. Okay guys, and my last mandatory read that I'm very keen to get to is actually for my own book club, which is the Middle Grade Magic Book Club. I run this book club where we read one middle grade book every month, and it is a really fun time. We've got a great group of people in the Discord, so if you're interested in joining us, if you love middle grade or you're keen to get into middle grade, I will leave a link to our Discord, and it's a really fun time. So we will be moving on to our April pick, which I am so excited for. I have read from this middle grade author previously, and I've loved her books, and this is her brand new release, and I'm just so excited for this one. But the book for April, we will be reading for middle grade March, goodness sake, for April, for Middle Grade Magic, is The Girl Who Dreamed in Magic by Maria Kuznier. Is this cover not just absolutely stunning? It's so beautiful. Oh, I absolutely love this. So Maria Kuznier, if you don't know, she wrote the Ship of Shadows middle grade series, which I absolutely loved, and she has also written more YA and adult stuff, and she has written Midnight in Everwood and Upon a Frosted Star, which I've read both of those and absolutely loved. So this is her brand new middle grade release, and it is Norse mythology, which I'm so excited about because I just read A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle Jensen, and I've just become so obsessed with trying to read more Norse mythology stuff. So it says on the back here, in a land of ice and stars lives a girl with a magical destiny, a girl braver than a Viking who will one day hold the fate of the North in her hands. So that's all I really want to know about it. And because I actually pre-ordered this, I managed to get a personalised signed edition from Maria Kuznier herself, which is so amazing to have, and I'm just so thrilled to have this signed by Maria. And it says on here, "Dear Claire, you are braver than a Viking," and it's just so lovely. And yeah, I follow Maria on Twitter, and she just seems so lovely, so I'm so excited to get to this one in April. And guys, I completely forgot, I've got one more mandatory read. Honestly, I should write stuff down, but I don't. So another mandatory read that I would like to get to, which is a thriller, and it is for the B&K Book Club, which is the book club run by Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading and Kelsey from Reads with Kelsey. I will leave again both their channels in the box down below. But the April pick for the B&K Book Club is quite a chunky one, and I have read from this author previously. It's the same author who wrote Ace of Spades, which I really enjoyed. So this is her brand new release, and it is Where Sleeping Girls Lie. and apologies for my pronunciation for this, by Farida Abeki Imede. I have no idea how you pronounce that, I do apologise. But this is the same author who wrote Ace of Spades, which I really enjoyed, and I think this is more of a dark academia thriller. And it says on the back here, "This was a mistake. The voice in her head whispered, you should never have come." So we're following the main character who goes to this prestigious school, Alfred Nobel Academy, and on her first day at this new school, her roommate ends up going missing, I think, and the blame gets pinned on the main character, and I'm assuming there's a lot of secrets, and then the student eventually ends up turning up dead, so that's interesting, but it is quite a chunky one. It's it's over 500 pages, so I don't know how I feel about that for a thriller, but I am really, really excited to give this one a try, and I have heard really, really great things about it. So this will be my last mandatory read for April, so I will now move on to my Magical Readathon TBR. Okay guys, so I'm now going to move on to my Magical Readathon TBR. It's quite a small TBR, which is great because I have decided for my Magical Readathon career to be a spell sword. So my character is an elven heritage from Dark Meadow, and my career will be as a spell sword, and I'm really excited. So I only have 4 prompts to complete, which I think is quite good, obviously, because I'm just starting out doing this readathon, so I didn't also want to overwhelm myself with giving myself too many prompts. So my 4 reading prompts. So I have 4 prompts to complete for the spring equinox, so this will be running throughout the whole of April, and I will leave a link to G's most recent announcement video for Magical Readathon in the box down below as well if you are interested in taking part, and you still have time to pick out your Magical Readathon career and characters and all that kind of stuff. So we will start off with my first prompt, which is for animal studies, and that is to read a book with a yellow title, and I have decided to go for a book I will be reading on my Kindle because I don't have a physical copy, but the book I've decided to go for is Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. I'll put a picture up of the book on here because I also don't own a physical copy, but this is another cowboy romance. I'm definitely getting into my cowboy romances, and I know Steph has read this and I think she only gave it 3 stars, but I am keen to give this one a try because I know the second one has just come out quite recently and it does look pretty good. So I think we're following the main character who has ADHD. There's ADHD representation here, which is great to see, and I think she has a bad accident, a horse riding accident, and she has to go back home, and there's a guy who is her brother's best friend, and I think there's a bit of enemies to lovers in there, and I think he ends up teaching her how to horse ride again, and I think that there's a romance that happens between them. So I am excited to give it a try. So that will be for my first prompt. For my second prompt, which is for demonology, I have to read a book that I didn't pay for, so a gifted book basically, and I have decided to go for a short middle grade that the lovely Amanda gifted to me for my birthday, I believe. And oh no, I think I've lost the gift note, that's terrible. But she gifted me The House at the Edge of Magic by Amy Sparks. This is a really short middle grade, so hopefully this shouldn't take me too long, and I have heard good things about it. So it says on the back here, a witch has cursed a hidden treasure, a wizard in fluffy slippers. 9 is an orphan pickpocket with nothing to her name, but when she plucks a beautiful ornament from someone's purse, she's sure her luck is about to change. Instead, her treasure grows into an enormous house full of magic, mystery and ridiculous residents, but this enchanted place is under a terrible curse that only 9 can break, and she might be willing to help, but for something in return. So it does sound really fun, and I just love this cover. It just looks so colourful. It's so cute. So this I will be reading for my demonology prompt. For my third prompt, which is for spells and incantations, I had to do a random number generator. I did a random number generator and I ended up getting the number 4, and luckily I actually have a buddy read that has 4 words in the title, and the book is Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I think that's how you pronounce that, and I will be doing a buddy read of this with Kyla from the Infinite Library. I'll leave her channel down below. So we're going to buddy read this in April. And I don't know too much about this one, but it definitely gives me the vibes of like Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kenny Maniscalco. And it says, from the TikTok sensation comes a laugh-out-loud fantasy romance about the assistant to an evil villain and their unlikely love story. So it does sound a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to buddy read this with Kyla. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. And then for my final prompt, which is for the class of Restoration, my prompt is to read a book to cure a reading slump. And I have been seeing this book everywhere, and I've just been so intrigued, and I think it would definitely get you out of a reading slump. And I got this very, very recently in the March YA Fairy Loot box, so this will be spoilers if you haven't gotten your box yet. But the book is A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. Apologies if I've pronounced that wrong, but this is a stunning Fairy Loot edition, and it is so beautiful. Oh, it's just absolutely stunning, and I don't want to know too much about this one, but we have vampires in 1920s London, I think, in here, and there's a heist involved, and it does sound a lot of fun, and this edition is just absolutely beautiful. So that will be my Magical Readathon TBR, and I'm really, really excited to get to all of these. Okay guys, and then the rest of the books on my TBR are just for mood reads of stuff that I would really love to get to in the month of April, and I have a thriller on here that I'm very keen to get to because I've read a thriller from this author before and I absolutely loved it, and it is the new thriller from Gillian McAllister, which is Just Another Missing Person, and it is quite chunky, but I flew through Wrong Place, Wrong Time, so I'm sure I will be able to fly through this one. So in this, we are following the main character, Olivia, 22 years old, no history of running away, last seen on CCTV entering a dead-end alley and not coming back out again, missing for one day and counting. Julia is the detective heading up the case. She knows what to expect: a desperate family, a ticking clock, and long hours away from her daughter. But Julia has no idea how close to home it's going to get, because her family's safety depends on one thing: Julia must not find out what happened to Olivia. An unputdownable twisty thriller from the author of Sunday Times bestseller Wrong Place, Wrong Time. So it does sound really, really good, so I'm really keen to get to this one in April. Next up is another book that I am sure Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading will appreciate me picking this up in April, because she absolutely loved this book, and I have been meaning to get to this for a long time, and I just got the second book in very, very recently, so I'm very keen to give this one a try and see if I like it. But the book is God Killer by Hannah Kaner. This cover is just absolutely stunning. I mean, it screams a lot more autumn, but I'm just so keen to get to this because I know Brittany absolutely loved it and she's been raving about it. So I think we are following a God Killer in here, and that's kind of really all I know about it. And this was gifted to me by the lovely Jem for my birthday, so I just want to say a massive thank you to Jem for gifting this to me, and I am sorry that I haven't read this a lot sooner, but I did briefly start it actually, and I only got maybe 30 pages in and put it down because I wasn't in the mood for it, but I'm very keen to get to it now because Brittany has been going on about it so much. So yeah, God Killer I'm going to add onto my April TBR. Next up is another thriller that I'm really, really keen to get to, and I'm hopefully going to buddy read this with the lovely Amanda. And the thriller is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I've heard a lot of great things about this, especially from Steph. I think she gave it 4 stars, and she loved it because it has a podcast element in here, and I have only read The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell, and I did really, really enjoy it, so I'm really keen to try more from Lisa Jewell. And I don't want to know too much about this one, so I'm not going to read the back of it, but I know it's got, I'm assuming, a lot of twists and turns and a podcast element here, so I think I do have the audiobook, so I want to try the audio along with it and see how I get on with it. But yeah, I'm really excited to buddy read this with Amanda, and yeah, None of This Is True is going on my TBR as well. Okay, next up is another book that I know Brittany will be very, very happy that I'm going to be reading in April, because she absolutely adored this when she read it, and she's actually gifted me a copy of it, which is so lovely of her, so thank you, Brittany, for gifting this to me. But the book is Fireborn by Rosaria Munda, I think that's how you pronounce it. I mean, look at this cover, does that not just scream like fantasy to you? It's so beautiful. And I don't want to know too much about this one, but I'm assuming it's got dragons in here, fantasy. Annie and Lee were only children when revolution changed the world, giving everyone a chance to test in the governing classes of dragon riders. Now they are both rising stars in the new regiment, even though Annie's low-born family was executed by dragonfire, while Lee was born into the very aristocrats who used to rule their city. A childhood at the same orphanage forced their friendship, and 7 years of training have made them rivals for the top position in the dragon riding fleet. But everything changes when survivors from the old regiment surface, bent on reclaiming their city. With war on the horizon, Lee must choose to kill the only family he has left or to betray everything he's come to believe in, and Annie must decide whether to protect her dearest friend or step up to be champion her city needs. Loyalty and love are tested in this gripping adventure that asks what matters most, the family you were born into or the one you've chosen. So that just sounds amazing, and it's definitely giving me Fourth Wing vibes, obviously for the Dragon Rider stuff, because I absolutely loved Fourth Wing, so I really think I'm going to love this. And thank you, Brittany, for gifting this to me, because I know that she's read the second book recently and she loved it even more than the first book, so I'm very, very excited to start another series, but I'm really excited for this one because it does sound so good. Okay guys, and we have finally made it to my last book that I'm going to put on my TBR, and I am a little bit anxious about this one but I need to read this so I can finish off this series, and it is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J Maas. I got 100 pages into it in, I think, January time, and I put it down because I just wasn't feeling it. It follows Chaol from Throne of Glass, who is not my favourite character, but I'm determined to finish off the Throne of Glass series because I still have Kingdom of Ash to read, and I have to read this before Kingdom of Ash, so I'm going to plough my way through it and see how I get on with it. But I'm determined maybe May or even June to get to Kingdom of Ash and finish off the Throne of Glass series, because I'm desperate to tick that series off my list, because that's the only Sarah J Maas series that I haven't finished. So Tower of Dawn is going on my TBR, and that will be the last book that I'm adding to my April TBR. Okay guys, so that is my complete April TBR, and I'm so excited for everything that I've got on this TBR. I think it's quite a good mix of stuff I've picked as well. So let me know in the comments what your April reading plans are. Are you doing Magical Readathon? Let me know what career that you've picked out for Magical Readathon, what books that you're going to read for that, and let me know if you're taking part in the Chestnut Springs Along in April, and I would love to have you if you're interested in joining Midgrade Magic as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on in April, and I'm really excited for everything. And I'd actually just want to show you my nails that I got done the other day. I don't know if my camera will focus, but I've got some bees and daisies on, so very, very spring vibes. Yeah, so pretty. So anyway, if you liked the video, give me a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I actually just hit 200 subscribers and I can't believe it, and I'm so thrilled to have 200 subscribers, so thank you so much if you subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I will see you hopefully in my next video very, very soon. Bye!